Hi guys, welcome back. As promised in the last video, I said I would show you how to make some of the worlds that we made. And so in this video, I'll take you through a few of those worlds, show you exactly what settings that I used, and then that way you can start learning how to mix and match and make them for yourself. Alright, so if you like this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this. Let's get to the video. Alright. So here we are back in the World Gen settings generator. We're just going to go ahead and create a new dimension. I think we'll pick one that I showed off in my video that you may or may not be interested in. It's kind of cheating, I guess, but all of this kind of is, so it's up to you if you want to use it or not. I called this one Resource Land. So this one was based off the settings that you find in a super flat world. But unlike a super flat world, you would be able to access this world from your other dimensions. So I just named it Resource Land, and then I hit Add Dimension. And then it comes down here. And then this is just the default settings again. So for this one, you would choose Generator Type, and you would change that to Super Flat. And then we're going to copy the same seed again. Paste that there. And then, so in order to fill in all the blocks, what you're going to be doing is you hit generator settings, and then that'll make this menu pop down. What I chose was mushroom fields. That'll just prevent mobs from spawning. One thing that you'll notice that I've personally noticed is mobs don't burn in sunlight in the worlds that you create here. So you just have to be careful with that. Don't depend on the sunlight to save you, because the mobs are still going to be there and after you, even if you have skylight on. Maybe that's just something with the settings that I used, but personally I've noticed that they don't burn up in sunlight, so you just have to be careful. Alright, so once you've picked super flat, I choose mushroom field so that mobs won't spawn. Then you just hit add layer, and the way that I did it is just, well, I guess you don't really need to do this, but if you had this so that mobs could spawn, what I did was I made 40 layers of bedrock. All that does is prevent slimes from spawning. Most people, if you make a super flat world like the generic one, you'll see that slimes just like overrun the villages and stuff like that spawn if you just use the basic grass one. So this will just, if you have this set to anything other than mushroom fields, will stop slimes from overwhelming you. And then you just hit add layer, and then the way that we did it was, I think we started at netherite and we worked our way up. So that was netherite underscore block, and we did 3 of those, and then we add another layer, and then we did diamond block. And 3 of those. And just keep going all the way up, as many of whatever you want. If you're not sure about the IDs of the blocks, I'll put a link in the description for Minecraft Gamepedia. It has all the block values. You just find blocks and then hit show, and it gives you the block IDs of every possible block that you might want to use in a super flat. But what I'm going to do is, I've already got this all entered, so I'm just going to copy this and then go back to the world settings generator. I'm going to paste it in here. So the way that this thing works too, you'll notice that this moved right away, because what I pasted in there with all of the settings, it automatically gets added to this. So you'll see that it's not just what we added before, but all the other blocks that I have already added, right? So quartz, gold, iron, coal, oak logs, clay, and finally hay, so that you can have infinite food with a little bit of mycelium on top. Okay, so that's the way that I've structured this. And then what you would do is you would copy that, paste it into your notepad file, and then you're going to save as and change the text documents to all files and save it as whatever you like. Resource. Oops. And then remember to put .json at the end to make it a JSON file. One thing I forgot to mention too is I added in this structures line for generating villages. It won't work in all instances, but it does work in this case, even though it's a mushroom biome, but it will generate villages also. I'll explain more about this when I talk about creating the next world. Save that, and then you'll go into Minecraft, and then it's time to make the world. So we're going to create a world, call it resource, and we're going to just put it in creative so that we can explore it again. And then it's more world options, import settings, and you select your resource file and then create your world. Okay, so once you spawned into your world, you type /execute in. You pick your world that you wanted to teleport to. You have to hit run and then TP at P to ~100 tilde. If you know the exact position, like I could have done the math on this and I didn't, but if you know the exact position to teleport to and you're in survival, that's much better because then you're not going to take fall damage. Right? Like I'm going to be teleporting in much higher than the actual ground, so I'm going to be falling down onto it. And you'll see here that even though it's a mushroom biome, villages still manage to spawn somehow. I don't know how it works, but it does work in this example. Here we have resource land, and you'll notice that you can dig down and you'll find the hay bales. That's a recent addition, it wasn't in the last video. Clay, which is a limited resource, but here it goes on 3 blocks wide forever, right? In all directions at this level. And same with wood. It goes in all directions. And then, yeah, it's starting to get dark now. Iron all the way down for all the resources we added. Right? So it's that simple. You can use the settings from a super flat world and then copy those and then paste them directly into the JSON file, and there you have a new world covered in villages, and no hostile mobs will spawn here at all, and you also will have access to unlimited resources. Alright, so that's the first one. Now let's move on to the next one. Okay, so for the next one, I'm going to show you how to add some structures into your world. So we're going to call this one Big City. And we'll hit Add Dimension. And then we're going to scroll down to the bottom. We're just adding it to the same world settings. So eventually we'll end up with world settings that have all of these. For this one, our biome source, we're going to choose Vanilla Layered. So that's the overworld. We're going to paste in the seed that we've been using in this video. And then we have to change the generator setting. So to do that, you just click the arrow on the generator settings right here, and then you'll scroll down and see bedrock roof position. That's if you want to make a more nether style world. For now, we're just going to leave all of this as it is. But again, you could change the default block if you wanted to, say, diamond ore. And then when you dig down, there's just diamonds everywhere. But we're not going to do that. We're going to leave all of this the same. And then we have to open up the noise options. This is very important. If you miss this step, it won't add the noise, and then it'll give you an error, and then the world won't generate. I ran into that one a few times myself. So just opening up the noise settings should be enough for what we're trying to do right now. There's a lot of things here you can play with on your own. changing the height to make the whole world smaller or taller. You can fiddle with these, but I think for our purposes we don't need to change any of these. But you just do have to open it up so that it puts those settings into the code window up top. And then what you're looking for down here is the structures. The link in the description has a list of all the IDs of the structures. So the way that it works is if you don't put a structure in here, it's going to assume that it wants to generate that structure a lot. So whatever world you're making, you have to try and think of all the possible structures that might generate and put them in there. We're going to do one that's just a big city. So we're going to type Minecraft village. That's going to be, so Minecraft village is the name of the village, and then you hit add structure, and then it's going to give you these numbers: spacing 10, 8, and salt. The spacing is the maximum distance in chunks of 16 blocks between each structure, and the separation is the minimum distance in chunks between each structure. So for villages, let's say we wanted to go 2 and 1. This will generate the villages extremely close together. And then this number here is one that I can't remember exactly where I got it from, but it was one of the settings files from something else. I believe it has to do with how many it's going to throw in there right away. This is the default number for villages, I believe. So I just used it for everything, right? So we got Minecraft villages. The next one I'm going to add is Minecraft Mansion. So this is the Woodland Mansion, and we're gonna do kind of the same thing with this. They're a little bigger, so we're gonna go 4 and 3, and we'll do the same thing with salt. We'll copy the same number. The rest of this is just putting in every structure that you can think of. Like, use the list of IDs and put how far apart you want them and how many you want salted in. I'm just going to copy the settings that I already have. So copy that and paste into here. And you'll see that that will also change what shows down here from copying and pasting it. You'll notice that all the other structures now are filled in. Okay, so we're just going to copy this and we're going to paste in here. We'll save this as Big City. Remember to hit all files, bigcity.json. Then we're going to hop into Minecraft. We're going to create a new world called Big City. Creative. Import the Big City settings. Ignore the warning. Hit create and just wait for it to load. Okay, and once you're loaded in, you can enter your command again, /execute in, and that'll bring up the list of worlds. And this time we're going to go to Big City, run tp @s tilde 100 tilde. And again, we fall down, and you'll see right now we're in the middle of a forest. You'll see that as soon as we get out of the forest, we enter a never-ending village. This will just be villages spawned on top of villages. You'll probably get some graphical errors like houses that are half not on the ground. There'll be houses that have spawned inside other houses. There'll just be villagers everywhere. All different trades, all over the map, just endlessly spawning villages. In this world, it will spawn a village or a woodland mansion anywhere that it can. It's going to try to. It's probably going to even be pretty hard to navigate these things because they're going to be so densely packed. So that's a couple of worlds from the custom worlds. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoy making your own custom worlds. I will be making some more videos detailing how to do some of the other worlds that I talked about in one of my other videos, but at least this gives you enough that you can play around with now and start making some worlds of your own. Thanks so much for joining me. Again, please like the video if you liked it. Please subscribe if you want to see more. It really helps the channel out a lot. And I will look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thanks again.